Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Dr. Glenn Vo. Welcome to another episode of the Backstage Podcast. Look, I am super excited because I have dentistry's best kept secret. She is the dental COO. She's helped many practices, many entrepreneurs level up. Look, she runs in some exclusive circles, and today you're going to find out who she is and what she's all about. I got Eric Benavente. Erica, what's up?
Hello, hello everyone. Thanks for having me, Glenn. It's a pleasure.
Well, I've been working hard to get you on here, Erica, because, again, a lot of high level people know you, they work with you, your dentistry's best kept secret. Now you're not going to be the best kept secret anymore. But before we get into what you do, how you help out dental entrepreneurs like myself, I got to ask you, what made you want to work with crazy dental professionals like me? Like, what pulled you in? Give us the origin story there, Erica.
It started a very long time ago. As a senior in high school, I did a program called the Hero Program, which required me to work in a in an office setting, not dental specific. At the time, my dentist, Dr. Sim, I was in for an appointment. He was asking, what are you going to do next year? I said, well, I got accepted into the Hero Program. I'm going to need to find a job. He said, call me next year. And I said, okay. And next year came, and I was absolutely not going to call. My mother encouraged me, give him a call. He
Yeah.
said to call him. I gave him a call, and September of 1996, I started my dental career as a dental assistant, working half a day at Dr. Sim's office and going to school a half a day. And it sort of started from there.
Wow, wow. And then, you end up working with his practice and so tell us about like, you started as a dental assistant and you pretty much like went through and worked almost every position. I mean, that's how you got all this information to be like the COO that you are. But talk about his practice and the other practice you worked with and what you were able to do with these practices.
Well, we started off really small, actually, in 1996. There was two of us, dental assistants, one front desk, and one dental hygienist. Back in 2001, we remodeled the practice. We went from three operatories to five, and then in 2011, from five to 10.
Wow.
And about 3 or 4 years ago, we're able to build a 25 operatory super practice. So I would like to think that our efforts of, you know, uh, servicing patients and providing a great patient experience and really making a connection with our patients. I mean, I was actually talking to my husband about that the other day. Just there was so many patients that I was able to connect with on a personal level. I seen them get married, have kids, their kids come to the practice, their kids get married, and it was definitely very family orientated, and just making a connection with your patients really helped sustain the practice long term, and providing elevated patient experience is really, I think, the pipeline to growth
Well, I mean,
overall.
look, you just over there gave us one big tip right there, right, about the relationships, right? But, I want you to share with us. I mean, obviously, you worked in a practice where it was like a couple of ops and then all the way up to 25 ops. I mean, obviously, there's certain things you got to do that's different when you're really small and certain things that are really different when you go to something really big. You talked about relationship. That seems like that's the thing that you stays current there. But when someone is thinking about making the jump and growing their practice, what are some of the things that dental practice owners need to realize and need to be ready to take on when they start leveling up from like a smaller practice to a big mega practice? What are some of the things that you gotta be ready for and that you need to have dialed in when you want to make that jump?
Definitely have to have your systems dialed in. You
There you
have to
go.
set your team up for success, having those policies and procedures in place, having clear expectations with your team, having enough support staff. It's very different going from a five practice office to maybe 2,000 square feet to 20,000 square feet,
Yeah.
right? Like you have to be staffed, you have to have enough support staff. enough people to answer all the calls that are coming in now that you have this big practice. You want to be able to support your patients and everyone that's, coming to you.
And so sometimes dentists will like, you know what? Like I don't need like a CEO type. Heck, man, I have an office manager, they can do that, and I want to try to do it. I want to see patients, I want to try to do it on the side and whatnot. For those doctors who feel like they can do it all on their own, and I'm sure a lot of your clients were there. They're like, oh yeah, I was just doing this and I'll just do it in between patients, whatnot. What is your message to them? When they want to scale, right? Like when they want to scale and they're like, I don't know if I need like a fractional CO to help me out. I'll just do what I've been doing. What do you say to them?
Can't do it.
Yeah.
Like I said, having enough support staff in place, having clear expectations. The office manager role is great, right? But she's managing the front desk. She's
She's got
managing
her own stuff to
managing
deal
the
with.
day-to-day. Yeah, she's managing the day-to-day operations. If they don't have an HR in place, then she's taking call offs and making schedules. So having the appropriately staffed people in the right places makes all the difference when you're looking to scale your practice or practices.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you have the street cred, right? You were there from the beginning when you were working in a practice that, had a few operatories and then they grew to this big practice. Each level that went up, they needed more team members and you just couldn't have the same thing. So for someone who, okay, we talked about one practice, but now we now let's talk about multiple practices. What are someone like, let's say for example, a doctor has one practice, they want to open the second one. What is something when we talk about getting extra team members, what is something they need to keep in mind when they're going to the second practice and possibly third practice? When we're talking about like team support, what do they need to start like getting prepared for when they want to go to multiple practices?
Well, scheduling, staffing, where their location is really important. What clientele base you're looking to have. Is this a high scale? Is this elevated? Is this, you know, possibly in a community that we need to, I mean, obviously all communities need to be served, but
Hmm.
what's your clientele base going to be like? Looking at the numbers, what's in the area, everything, really everything matters. You're looking at all the details. How much money do you have to spend on payroll, on
Yeah.
equipment? Everything matters when you're looking to
And
scale.
you might need a new team member that you didn't have before, right? Like maybe like a regional manager or something like that. If you're going multiple
Definitely
practice, you can't have office manager and office one do everything for office two, right?
not. No, you definitely need extra support staff and supervisors, regionals. I think implementing also certain people to do certain positions depending on the size of your team, like somebody that's in charge of, employee relations,
Hmm.
taking those call offs, scheduling, hiring, vetting. Your office manager can't do all those things and manage the day to day, at multiple practices. It's just not ideal.
So for those who are thinking about, scaling to another practice or multiple practices and or maybe their practice is making the jump from like, okay, we had a medium-sized practice, now we're going to go into a bigger practice and of course we have higher goals and expectations and they're interested in working with you and seeing how you could help them. How does that work? Do they reach out to you? Is there like a discovery call? Walk us through the process of honestly seeing if you're a fit for them and they're a fit for you because it goes both ways. Like you have told me many times that not every practice, not every dental practice owner is a good fit. So how does that work when we're trying to figure out if you're a good fit to work with them?
Yeah, they would just give me a call. I could provide my contact information. Cell phone is 219-771-4302. They can contact me via my website, questdentalsolutions.net, or my email info@questdentalsolutions.net. Basically, they would reach out, we would set up a discovery call, and I can come on site. I'd like to spend about 3 days
Hmm.
in office and determine what their needs are, if they're a good fit, if I'm a good fit for them. And a lot of what I do is very tailored to what each practice or practice's needs are.
And I want to just kind of follow up on that. Why is that so important that you spend that time? Because a lot of times, some practice owners say, "Well, let's just fill out an application, let's just rock and roll," right? But why is it so important that you spend that time there for the client?
For the client and for myself, just being very thorough and detail
Yeah.
oriented is really important. If we're going to have a long lasting relationship, I want to know what is working, what is not working, and not just on an administrative level, on a staffing level, on a clinical level. And that just takes time. So I'd like to give them the opportunity to kind of fill me in. I'd like to ask a lot of questions so we can both make a decision on whether we'd be a good fit for each other.
Well, there you go. There's a reason, guys. I wanted to have Erica on. She's dentistry's best kept secret. And again, that's your opportunity. If you're looking to look, you may have a really good practice right now, but you want to go to another level. When you want to go to another level, you do need another level of team. And that's what she brings. She brings you COO level service and support. Now, if you want to hire her, that's a different conversation. Hire her permanently, that's a different conversation. But she is dentistry's fractional COO. Erica, thank you so much for jumping on. Guys, we will see you next time.
Have a good one.